Inec laments absence of cash 10 days to election. Hello everyone, welcome to Newsport TV. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has expressed concerns that the cashless and currency swap policies of the Central Bank of Nigeria will pose a challenge to the successful conduct of the forthcoming general elections. The concern is coming less than 11 days before the February 25th presidential and National Assembly election. According to the Commission, if nothing is done to address the cash crunch caused by the policies, INEC will find it difficult to deploy staff and materials for the election as most of the services required cash to obtain. The INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner for the Federal Capital Territory FCT, Yahaya Bello, stated this in Abuja on Tuesday at the North Central Stakeholders Roundtable on the 2023 election organized by the Center for Transparency Advocacy, CTA. Bello maintained that apart from the cash challenge, the Commission was prepared for election as it has taken delivery of 80% of materials for the polls and trained staff ahead of the exercise. He said, "Honestly, I don't see challenges because the Commission has made a lot of preparations. A lot of materials have already been gotten. We have done some trainings, we are doing more trainings. We have made a lot of consultations with the stakeholders. A lot of materials have been batched to the area councils, which is the local government level." When you talk about the challenge, sincerely, the challenge to this election as we are going about now in the FCT and by and large, I believe all over the nation is the cash policy. Because we have already enumerated and made our position clear to the authorities, the CBN, the federal government, and what have you, exactly how we conduct elections. This is something that is not only FCT, as I said, is nationwide and is being tackled at the national level. If there's any challenge for me now conducting this election is to wait and hear the outcome of the discussion and the brief from my National Commission chairman for whatever they have discussed with the CBN and other authorities with regard to this policy. We are ready for this election. Elaborating on how the cashless policy and Naira policy would negatively impact on the election, Bello said, "Before the election day, we are going to deploy the services providers. On the 9th of Friday, day before the election in the FCT, we have more than 12,000 ad hoc staff that we are going to give cash. None of them will receive a check or accept a transfer. Also, those who are going to transport our men, materials, and security to the polling units, cash they will need cash to do that. In Kano, we have 44 local governments, and they are going to move to how many polling units? There's money for security because you cannot take a security person to a polling unit without giving him money to eat, and I don't see the 1,000 naira you have given to him. He will go to the POS and withdraw it." He added that about 80% of permanent voters card PVCs of those who registered during the last continuous voter registration exercise had been collected. Earlier, the executive director of CTA, Faith Nwadishi, advocated that the peace accord signed by politicians be made a legal document that people can use to hold the politicians who subscribe it accountable. Nwadishi said the non-adherence to the peace accord signed by political parties and their candidates was responsible for the violent attacks at campaigns as well as during elections. She said, at last count, there had been about 50 incidents and attacks in 15 states of the Federation. The type of attacks include bandit attack, post-election attacks, Boko Haram, thuggery on election day, unknown gunmen, and hoodlums, and NSAS, amongst others. In January 2023 alone, according to a recently published report by the Global Rights Incident Center for Election Atrocities, there were 19 attacks on politicians and politically exposed persons, 30 politically motivated killings, 6 attacks on political party rallies, 15 politically motivated adoptions, and 5 attacks on government facilities and police stations. It is important at this juncture to remind the politicians of the peace accord that they voluntarily signed. This has become important as the heat of the elections and campaigns have intensified. It is reported that within a month, 8 October to 9 November, a total of 52 election-related acts of violence were recorded in 22 states. This number is scary and must not be allowed to fester. We call on politicians to respect the peace accord that they voluntarily signed, rein in their supporters, respect other candidates, stop the use of abusive words, and above all, shun violence, as we have only one country that we can call our own. We are advocating that henceforth it is important that we make it, peace accord, a legal document that people can use to hold them accountable. The CTA director called on all stakeholders to say no to money politics, all forms of inducement and money laundering associated with elections, stressing that citizens' choices must never be subverted by the negative use of money to influence votes, including the criminal purchase of PVC by politicians. She commended INEC for extending the permanent voters' card collection period by 2 weeks, which has now ended, but appealed to the Commission to further extend the exercise by at least 1 week before the Presidential and National Assembly elections. So this is what we've just got from INEC, lamenting about the absence of cash. Just 10 more days to the 25th of February 2023 presidential election. So, will there be a special concession given to them by the CBN? Because election is the biggest thing right now on our plate, considering the sufferings we are going through, cash crunch, and also fuel scarcity. But many quarters have been saying that this election might be moved. But with this statement now that, they are saying, well, there's no money. How are they going to mobilize the staff? Is this not counterproductive? When people are so hungry for money, when they see money, are they supposed to reject it? These are many more questions coming up. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We want to hear from the federal government on this lamentation by INEC of the absence of cash. May God bless Nigeria. Bye for now.